Good morning, everyone. It is such a privilege to have the opportunity to recognize National Disability Employment Month. We have some outstanding community-based organizations and nonprofit organizations and a Department of Health and Human Services that is fully committed to ensuring that we facilitate the opportunity for every resident in Montgomery County to be able to access employment. We have record levels of openings right now within not just our county, but across this country. And it is critically important that we close the disability inclusion gap by merging disability into business opportunities, which at this time, again, is critical in all sectors. 90% of companies say they prioritize diversity and inclusion, yet only 40% consider disability in their work. We have to ensure that we embrace a movement nationally and take full advantage of the skill sets of every single one of our residents and the assets that they provide all of us for so many different reasons. And so I am honored to have the opportunity to present this proclamation this morning, and I will now turn it over to the county executive to say a few words as well.
So thank you. And I'm really happy to be here this morning. This is actually personally important to me. I have a foster son. He's 55 years old. He still lives with me. He's Down syndrome. And through most of his adult life, at times he's had community work through programs that will actually hire folks with disabilities. And I can tell you from his perspective, it's not the money. It's the sense of self-worth that comes from being able to go out and work. When he's not working, he talks about, can I get a job? Can I get a job? And he's not looking for the money. He has no idea what his paycheck is. But what he does know is that he's valued and he goes to work, and that's important for everybody to feel like they have a useful role to play. So that's my personal link to this. But I want to say that, I have a few people I want to thank for being here. We have Sherry Beamer and Garrett Alston of SEEK, Lou Merrick and Susan Hold from the Ivy Mount School. We've done a lot of work with the Ivy Mount School before. We have Patricia Ritter of the Treatment and Learning Center, Tom Liniak from JSSA for Compassionate Care, Anne Deschamps from Transcend, Tony Cancilosi from Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind, and Cynthia Grissom from WorkSource Montgomery. And without all of you, we don't have the programs. And if I missed somebody, I'm sorry they weren't on this list. But it shows what's happening in Montgomery County. And I wanted to also add that Montgomery County has had a pretty aggressive program. This year, we're going to be allocating $175,000 in grant money to help Easter Seals on their mission. The Edison program helps many people with disabilities, and groups like Easter Seals just don't put their clients into the workforce once they've secured paycheck and benefits and retention support to make sure they could stay at work. And there's a Ticket to Work program run by the federal government, and I want to thank Montgomery County businesses for the role they play in employing. Like you said, not enough employment out there, lots of support. We need more employment opportunities. At a point when there's so many vacancies in the private sector, this ought to be the time that people who are willing to work and want to work should be allowed to step up and fill these positions. So there's no better time than now for people to say this is the time to open our doors. So you got people who want to work in a time when they're talking about all the people who don't want to work. We should be hiring the people who want to work. So I'm encouraged that we're doing this today, and thank you for always supporting this, and thank the council for always supporting this. This is another one of the things for which there has always been unanimous support for the work that this community does. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. County Executive. Just a couple of other recognitions. I wanted to recognize Patricia Galilee, the new chair of the Commission for People with Disabilities, and really want to thank her for her leadership. And I now want to invite Tony Cancilosi, the CEO of Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind, to provide some remarks.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you.
Obviously, hello, I am not Tony Cancilosi. I'm Jocelyn Hunter, Senior Director of Communications at Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind, and I'm standing in this morning for Tony. He extends his regrets. He is unable to participate this morning. On behalf of Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind, we extend sincere appreciation to the leadership of Montgomery County. Mr. Ehrlich, we thank you. Sir Gabe Albornoz, we thank you. And the County Council for your enduring commitment of our mission to serve people who are blind, visually impaired, and deafblind. Specifically with regards to National Disability Employment Awareness Month, we are so happy to share that Columbia Lighthouse for the Blind currently employs 72 individuals. Majority of those individuals are visually impaired or blind. So we truly live out our mission of serving people of all disabilities of vision loss so that they can remain active, productive, and independent in our community. And we are also very appreciative to Montgomery County for the recent contribution of the contract for 5 years of services for the county, Montgomery County, in order to provide critical independent living skills services, such as orientation and mobility, to teach those skills necessary for employment. Those are the bedrock of skills so that our community has the ability and the confidence to get from their home to their place of employment and to be very productive and contributors to our community at large. So we thank you very much, and we look forward to our continued work together.
Thank you. Well said. Tony would be proud. We will now read the proclamation. Whereas, Patricia. Yes, of course.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us here today. The commission is always proud to work with the county council and the county executive to push forward initiatives for persons with disabilities, especially around employment. The pandemic has taught us many lessons, and one of those lessons that we learned is that we can approach work differently. Telework, options for having, more time at home. Transportation is always the number one barrier to persons with disabilities. So being able to work at home, work differently, is an opportunity that I think we need to capitalize on. And we need to take those positive things from the pandemic and really look forward to a future where everybody has the opportunity to work, whether they work at home or they work in an office, which is my preference anyway, or they work with a service animal. So we are just so happy to work with you, and we'll continue to find ways to partner and to get more people working at the county as well as in the local community who have disabilities. So thank you so much.
Very, very well said. All right. Whereas Montgomery County's theme for National Disability Employment Awareness Month this year is disability part of the equity equation. We celebrate the many and varied contributions that people who have an intellectual, developmental, psychiatric, sensory, or physical disability bring to the workplace. And
whereas Montgomery County partners with public and nonprofit organizations and private businesses in innovative ways to address the high unemployment rates of individuals with disabilities by providing more inclusive career development and training programs. These efforts lead to increased levels of competitive integrated employment and dignity of meaningful work. And
whereas Montgomery County government strives to be a model for local jurisdictions and private sector employers, as evidenced by the county's hiring preference for veterans and people with disabilities. These preferences include veterans with service-related disabilities, departmental AP 110 employment contracts, LEAP 4 MCG, Project Search, WorkSource Montgomery, Montgomery County Public Schools, Montgomery College, and our many contractual partnerships with nonprofit organizations. And Mr. County Executive, take us home.
all right. Whereas Montgomery County celebrates employers who promote workplace access for individuals with disabilities as a critical part of their commitment to diversity, inclusion, equity, and social justice in the workplace. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mark Elrich as County Executive and Gabe Albornoz as Council President hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as National Disability Employment Awareness Month in Montgomery County. We recommend this observance in all our residents and urge employers to hire, retain, and advance qualified employees who have a disability. Signed the 18th day of October 2022.
All right, congratulations. Let's take a picture. Colleagues, if you want to come down.